The Thursday morning Dharma study group has become an integral part of my understanding of Won Buddhism. Currently, we are reading from the Red Book. That's the casual name of our doctrinal book of Won Buddhism. Chapter 3, Practice. Wise words and practical examples from this Dharma group teach me how to bring the teachings into my everyday life. When our group read verse 8, I can only describe that day's discussion as lively and opinionated. Actually, controversial may be a better word. The first sentence of verse 8 states, "The founding master, JooAhn, addressed the congregation at a regular Dharma meeting. Today, I'm going to tell you how to make money." In our society today, there's a real distrust of ministers who meddle in their congregation's financial lives in order to line their own coffers. The next sentence, however, grabbed my attention and became the focus for this Dharma talk. Listen carefully and try to lead an abundant life. I at once went to my Merriam-Webster dictionary, which defines abundant as 1, existing or occurring in large amounts. 2, marked by great plenty as resources. And 3, amply supplied. Who doesn't want to live a life that is marked by great plenty? After contemplating verse 8, I decided to look at the two words make money as a euphemism for living abundantly. In this verse, Master JooAhn never actually tells us how to make money and acquire things. If I don't limit this passage to one simply about acquiring money and possessions, there is much to unpack. Master JooAhn's key message is for us to live our lives in a way that brings us abundant gratitude, contentment, and purpose. We all define an abundant life in different terms. What is important to me may not be as important to you, depending on where each of us are in our life and practice journey. I remember when I was raising 3 children while working a full-time job. My life was hectic, and I struggled to find time to enjoy the various stages of my children's lives. Some of you may describe your lives as good, comfortable, no complaint. Others may say that life is disappointing and depressing. Today, as a mother of adult children and retired from my career, an abundant life means that I strive to live in contentment, gratitude, and productivity that is brimming with love and joy. Here are several principles that I've learned in my study and practice of Won Buddhism that I use to embrace abundant living. I'm sure you can add to this list from your daily lives and practice. 1, mindfulness and meditation. Being thoughtful in my meditation practice, I have a greater sense of well-being. When I focus on not having enough or being enough, anxiety and fear take over my thoughts. I am beginning to understand that I have control over where my mind chooses to dwell. 2, inner abundance versus material wealth. It is my responsibility to minimize my attachment to material possessions and instead focus on my spiritual journey. Like many of you, I am bombarded with advertisements telling me what I need to buy to be happy, beautiful, or successful. Listening to my still, quiet inner voice allows me to realize the difference between a need and a want. 3, generosity. Living with compassion and empathy for other people and the world that I touch helps me to find positive relationships, contribute to society, and respect our earth. Whether giving money or time, I always feel a connectedness to the world that brings me true joy. Abundance magically appears. Abundant living at any stage of our life journey is a unique approach to life, capturing the spirit of gratitude, contentment, and purpose as the cornerstones of a fulfilling existence. Embracing these principles of abundant living not only allows me to find contentment in the present moment, but also allows me to align my thoughts and actions with my true nature. Here are a couple of examples of how I am trying to cultivate abundant living. Going back to verse 8, Master Sotasan admonishes us to think how many assets are wasted on liquor, sexual profligacy, and gambling in the ordinary lives of people in the secular world. The 10 precepts for the ordinary grade address these issues. Consuming intoxicants in number 4, sexual misconduct in number 3, and gambling in precept 5. While the members of my study group may have not felt any special connection to these vices, the phrase, assets are wasted on liquor, was meaningful to me. I can point to the exact date, April 29th, 1996, that I stopped wasting assets on liquor. As I found a fellowship that taught me to live one day at a time, I came to understand that relying on material items was not going to bring me happiness or satisfaction. I needed to find a spiritual life that was meaningful to me and to begin a life of service to others. The amount of money I wasted on alcohol is inconsequential compared to how much of my life and experiences I squandered thinking only of myself. As I put down alcohol, laughter, caring for others, and other simple everyday experiences slowly became more important to me than having a huge balance in my bank or climbing the corporate ladder to the exclusion of everything. I continue to find that the more I keep my life simple, the more abundant my life becomes. Another practical aspect of my journey toward abundant living has been to make my physical life less cluttered. I began to seriously downsize my life when my children became adults. I realized that I no longer need a huge home and things. Most of us can agree that we have far more stuff than we need. Because I dislike dusting, a question I like to ask myself is whether an object in my home is bringing me joy or frustration. I began downsizing the size of my homes in 1996, sometimes willingly and sometimes out of necessity. Today, I own a tiny 661 square foot condominium. Yet within it, there's a spaciousness and luxury that I cannot explain. Could it be abundance? Another form of decluttering for me has been trying to clear my mind of all the old information, shoulds, and expectations that no longer serve me. This process has proven to be more difficult and painful than decluttering my home. I think at times the best I can do is practice mindfully, forgive myself when I fail, and keep trying. Master Sotasan ends verse 8 with the phrase, "will attain the road which advances toward practice and daily living." I am a perfectionist who goes all out, but this passage suggests to me that all I need to remember to make money / live abundantly is to balance my spiritual practice with my daily life. Our lives are our practice. I will leave you with a prayer that speaks to me about the abundant life. Jonathan Chapman, aka Johnny Appleseed, was an early American nurseryman who introduced trees grown from seeds in a large part of the Northeast. He was known as a generous, kind man and early conservationist. I taught my children the Johnny Appleseed prayer as a blessing before meals. It goes like this: "Oh, the Lord is good to me, and so I thank the Lord for giving me the things I need, the rain and the sun and the apple seed. The Lord is good to me." Kamsamada.